So I'm Crystal Donna Roberts. I am an actress. It feels so weird to be like, I'm Crystal Donna Roberts, I'm an actress, but yeah. That the one constant thing that has always inspired me is I always think of myself as the little girl, the 5-year-old girl who decided that she wanted to be an actress. And the fact that I feel so blessed to be able to like do what I've always wanted to do. And I think that inspires me more. And that also inspires me to sort of push forward every single time. And then what also inspires me is just like stuff like walking around in town, and just like seeing different people and wondering what their stories are. And the love of storytelling is also inspiring. And just observing people and watching them, I find people fascinating. So yeah, I feel super blessed to be able to work with people like Oliver Hermanus and those people, and Roberta, and I think the big thing for me is just feeling very blessed, and not just because of the opportunity that I can do it, but also because of the fact that I can learn so much from these people. Well, it's obviously been mixed. I think that like a lot of people are also aware of the fact that with specifically the film Ritua, that the response has been very mixed. So at first, I have to admit, it was kind of overwhelming just in terms of the negative responses that one got, or that the film got, I think is more accurate to say. But what I do love is just how much, like after because I had to learn not to take it personal, and once I got over that hurdle, the biggest thing for me was learning to open myself to the conversations that people were having. And that has been a massive eye-opener to me. So before the audition, actually, I didn't really know that much about her, which is horrible for me to admit. And then after doing research, I got like the call for the audition like the night before I had the like actual casting. So I did as much research as I could before the actual audition. And then after the audition, I kind of became obsessed with playing this person. And I was like, I want this so badly. And so yeah, like I said, 3 months later, I remember I was on the set of Getroud met Rugby. And then I got the call, and I wasn't around my family or my friends or anyone like that. So I just grabbed the closest person to me, which was the makeup artist, and I told her that I got this role that I've been wanting for like so long. And then it's always one of those things. I always say that like you get so excited about playing the role once you land that job or whatever. But once it sort of settles down that you now have it, then you're like, okay, now the work starts. Now you have to prep. Now you have to, and I love that process as well. So from the audition to landing the job to filming, in between landing the job and filming, there was a lot of prep. There was a lot of prep in terms of obviously me doing research for the character. There was a lot of prep in terms of learning the language. There was a lot of prep in terms of learning to ride a horse. And yeah, the process was and then also being on set was so lovely because we filmed where there wasn't like buildings. We built a fort on this piece of land, and you were dressed in these clothes like the entire day for like 5 weeks, so you couldn't help but sort of just like dive straight into it, there was minimal signal, so you're like completely in that world, which was lovely. And then seeing the movie was lovely, and the response, even some of it was negative or whatever, like everything about it, I just took it as part of the entire process from the very beginning to the very end. It sort of like came full circle. Like a good director is a good director, whether you are male or female. Like that is straight for me, But I think when you are that there's a certain understanding of being a woman that only a woman gets. And I do not at all want to like underestimate the ability of a man to do that, because yes, I have met amazing male directors and worked with them who completely understand what it's like to, be a woman and who do it justice. But there is a little thing about understanding what we go through. Whether it's not even just in terms of the character, whether it's just like being an actress on set, and sets can always be like male dominated. So, so I think that's the thing about having a female director. It's just that understanding of what you go through as a woman. It's never really been that hard for me to sort of wind out of it or to like let it go. I obviously actors we take our work home with us in terms of having the script there, in terms of mapping. Like I always like to map my journey on like the wall, so there's lots of like post-it notes on the wall, and I map my like entire journey and stuff like that. So in that sense, yes, we do obviously take our work home, and we work hard at home on our scripts and whatever. But it has actually never been hard for me to sort of like let a character go. Yeah, so I don't know, I just sort of go home and have a glass of wine, and then I'm done. I know I'm done, yeah.
So what are we seeing next?
I'm very excited about this. I've never done comedy ever. The closest that I've gotten to comedy was children's theatre. And children's theatre is a great like learning, experience for comedy for me, because it's so close to each other. But I am doing a sitcom next year for CakeNet, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, do some funny things. In terms of South African film now, I'm super excited. Seeing all the films that are coming out, films like The Wound, and films like Sink that came out a few years ago. And like Nume Scully and Johnny Esney Whitney and all of those films. It's so exciting because it feels like we are getting this like new energy into South African filmmaking. And what excites me is that this new energy is not scared, I think that's the biggest thing, is that they are just so gutsy and ballsy, and that they are taking risks, and that excites me so much, yeah.